Wiestoff's lead is short-lived as Don Yenko, now driving the Meister Browser Scarab, grabs first with some flat-out driving. The race better than halfway through, and corner crews are covering oil spots. Herb Swan slips in the Canada corner, but regains the track without a trace of hay. Luke Stair has similar trouble. And things get a bit loose. Wiestoff runs into trouble, but straightens himself out without damage. And Bob Holbert, determined to win the Drivers' Championship, is revenging his overlong pit stop. Augie Paps has taken over the GTO, but after a 7-minute pit stop, he has a long way to go. Bondurant and Bill Dietrich, now driving the 73 Porsche, are hard at each other at Canada Corner. And Holbert's not to be denied. He's after Wiestoff, who has now regained the lead from Yenko's faltering Scarab. Wiestoff's untested combination of Elva body and Porsche engine is performing beautifully as he fights to stay in front. But Holbert's faster Cobra has chopped Wiestoff's lead to 3 seconds. And Holbert gets by Wiestoff just before Canada Corner and stretches it out up on Thunder Hollow with first place the only thing in his mind. The Scarab's brief glory, first for 17 laps, ends as the engine blows with Don Devine at the wheel. And that ends it for the Meister Browser team. Hoyer's early troubles took him out before halfway, although he was faster through the speed trap at 150 miles per hour than anyone before his car gave out. McDonald is back at the wheel of the 97 Cobra, intent on moving up from his 5th position. And Holbert is beginning to add daylight to his lead as he shows Don Sussler and Bill Wiestoff the way. Holbert is in perfect stride. His car, no problem now. Better than a third of the starters are now out of the race, sidelined with serious brake trouble, blown engines, oil leaks, faulty gearboxes. Road America 500 exacts its toll. Only the perfectly set-up cars survive. Penske is back in the Meektown GTO now, but after an overlong pit stop to change drivers, tires, and work on a slipping clutch, he's got a long push to get back in the running. Young Dave McDonald, fresh from his rest, pours it on to work himself into the same lap with Sussler, who's now 3rd. And as fatigue becomes a factor, driving becomes a little more ragged. Lap times increase as car and driver wear under the punishment of high-speed driving. Doug Thiem's Dino Ferrari moves toward the front. The young Milwaukeean, 6th in the point standings, has worked to 9th place. And the Cunningham Team Jaguars are taking advantage of the mortality rate and their perfectly tuned cars. Walt Hanskin, driving with Paul Richards, has brought the number 61 E-Jag to a 7th place slot as the race grinds on into the 70th lap. Meantime, has built up a 20-second lead over Wiestoff, with his foot in it all the way. The Porsche team of Castle and Sessler have their sleek silver number 73 in a real dogfight with Dave McDonald's number 97 Cobra. McDonald closing the gap every lap. Farther back, Lou Spencer seems unaffected by his solo driving chore and keeps pressure on McDonald for that 4th spot. McDonald's got his eye on Sussler's Porsche just in front of him and continues his flat-out exhibition. For the first time in the race, the sleek number 37 Bobsy 2, driven by Chuck Dietrich and Don Wolf, shows its form and moves into the top 10. Up front, Holbert has brought the 98 Cobra in for Miles to take over after a brake pad change. Holbert's 10/10 driving has given the Cobra a 30-second lead over second-place Wiesthoff's Elva Porsche. But that slim margin is quickly lost as another complicated pit session keeps Miles in for over 5 minutes. But Wiesthoff's in too. He surrenders his car to Augie Pabst, who drove earlier with Penske in the GTO Ferrari, and instructs him briefly on the unfamiliar car. It's just a 2-minute pit stop, and Pabst takes over in first place. Miles, frustrated from losing the lead in the pits, puts his foot in it to make up the lost time. Watch this battle as Miles tries to catch up with less than an hour left in the race. Makes up a lap, passing Pabst just before Canada corner. They're in the same lap now, but Miles is behind 2 minutes. Augie Pabst keeps the Elva Porsche smoothly in front. The checkered flag only minutes ahead. And Pabst will not be caught as he takes the last straight before the final turn at top speed. And then the checkered flag from Bud Severns, first in Road America's 500 history for an under 2-liter car. Miles took the checker 58 seconds behind Pabst. Castle and Sessler's Porsche third, and in fourth the Cobra of Dave McDonald and Bob Bondurant. Ollie Schmidt and Jim Nichols, who supplied the idea, engine and body, helped push their creation to the victory circle. Starter Bud Severns hands over the familiar victory token with everyone's congratulations for a history-making performance. Wiesthoff and Pabst, the winners. Bill Wiesthoff handled the car for 84 laps, giving it to Pabst for the finish. They own first place for 54 out of the 125 laps of the race. Average 84.44 miles per hour. Second overall and first in the over 2-liter was the Holbert Miles Cobra. They had 3 more first-place laps than the winners, but had too many long pit stops to overcome. Holbert and Miles finished 58 seconds behind Wiesthoff and Pabst. 12 minutes in the pits, just too much of a handicap. Nevertheless, Carroll Shelby and his Cobras win the Manufacturers' Championship, and the new Drivers' Champ is Bob Holbert. In a moment, a word from him.